What is going on, everybody? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys on Zoom. I got Dallas Stewart on the speaker phone. Dallas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody out there.
Yep, happy Super Bowl Sunday. Can't wait for the game. But today we're going to talk about our thoughts of the newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is one of my personal favorites. When they do the NFL honors is it's the moment we find out the newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And this is, in my mind, this is a pretty damn good class this year. So first off, out of the way, we're going to start with the contributor, Bill Nunn. Bill Nunn, who was part of the Steelers organization, one of two Steelers stalwarts to be inducted in the Hall of Fame this year. Nunn will be remembered as the assembler of the backbone of the 1970s Pittsburgh dynasty. A former sports writer at the Pittsburgh Courier, Nunn joined the Steelers scouting staff in '67 after calling on Pittsburgh to consider prospects from historically black colleges and universities. With the Steelers, Nunn was responsible for the scouting, drafting of the likes of L.C. Greenwood, Mel Blount, Ernie Holmes, John Stallworth, Donnie Shell, and Jack Lambert, all of whom more than contributed to Pittsburgh's 4 Super Bowl titles in the 6 years in the 1970s. As NFL Network's Jim Trotter wrote last July, Nunn was as instrumental as anyone in the franchise's success. Nunn died in 2014 after spending 45 years with the Steelers organization. His life and legacy will now forever be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, man, he was basically part of all 6 of the Steelers' Super Bowl championships, and definitely well-deserved, especially with what he did with getting players out of historically black colleges. So, I mean, I always think it's sad every time when, someone gets in after they died. I always find that sad. But
like Roy Halladay,
baseball-wise.
Didn't he make the Baseball Hall of Fame? Yeah, and he died.
Yeah, but he got in his first year eligible too. All right,
yeah.
So now up next, we got to go to another coach too. Legendary Raider head coach and one-time head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Tom Flores, the first ever Hispanic head coach ever to win a Super Bowl. Well, he won 2 Super Bowls with the Oakland Raiders when the Raiders were in Oakland, and the one Super Bowl they won in Los Angeles in 1983. Tom Flores, one of 4 coaches to have won 2 Super Bowls and not been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Flores can no longer claim that half-prestigious honor. The former Raiders coach played 10 seasons in the AFL for the Raiders, Bills, and Chiefs before transitioning into coach. Hired in 1979 by the then Oakland Raiders, Flores led the franchise in Northern and Southern California to a 91-56 records, including the postseason, 5 postseason appearances, and 2 Super Bowl titles in 1980 and 1983. And leading the Raiders to glory. Flores made history as the first minority head coach to win a Super Bowl. Flores also coached the Seahawks, obviously 14-34 record from 92 and 94, which one of those years Flores had the Defensive Player of the Year in 92, which was the late, great Cortez Kennedy from his time in Seattle. And now 83 years old, Flores, who has spent a lifetime in professional football, will enjoy immortality in the halls of Canton, Ohio. Going off the older names first too, like the way older people that have been waiting. Now this guy right here, the next guy. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that for Tom Flores though? First, Dallas.
It was great to see. He was a legendary coach. But I think well deserved.
Definitely well deserved, man. And my buddy Daniel Van Meter is pretty happy. He's a Raiders fan, I know, and I bet Samoan Raider out is pretty happy. All Raider Nation is happy to see Tom Flores finally get his due. And, it's definitely well-deserved, I mean, yeah. And then also, now let's get to this one. This name should have been in a long while back. One of the greatest undrafted receivers of all time, the original 88 with the Dallas Cowboys, caught the game-winning pass that coined the term Hail Mary. Drew Pearson finally getting his due. And yep, I'm really happy about this one. Even when I saw him on Peyton's Places last season too. I mean, I remember last year when he did get in, there was a video and he was just, he was just sad. You saw the tears in his eyes, how bad he really wanted to get in the Hall of Fame, knowing that he was definitely worth the honor of the Hall of Fame. And I'm really happy to finally see this guy get his due.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Michael Irvin, how fitting was it that Michael Irvin was the one that got to announce him on the NFL honors?
Yeah. Wait. Wasn't he the one that? No, wait. Didn't he make one of the legendary catches in one of the playoff games in '75?
Yeah, the Hail Mary, Drew Pearson.
Oh yeah.
Drew Pearson caught the Hail Mary from Roger Staubach.
Against Minnesota.
Yeah, against the Vikings in the old Met Stadium. Drew Pearson, recipient of the first Hail Mary, didn't need much of a prayer to enter the Hall this year after being selected this August as the senior finalist for the 2021 class. In a storied 11-season career with the Cowboys, Pearson rose from undrafted free agent to become a 3-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, member of the 1970s All-Decade Team, Super Bowl champion. He did so by catching 489 passes for 7,822 yards, both good for fourth most in Cowboys history, 48 touchdowns in 156 career games. Pearson was equally as effective in the postseason, exceeding his yards per game mark and catching 8 additional touchdowns in 22 playoff contests over 10 postseasons. I know a lot of Cowboys fans are happy to see this happen. I mean, and a lot of couple of big-time players to wear the number 88 in the Dallas Cowboys history. Obviously, Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, and obviously the last one was Dez Bryant before CeeDee Lamb this year.
Yeah, Drew Pearson was a great receiver for them in the '70s.
Yep. Happy to definitely see him finally get his due. I remember when I saw Peyton's Places when Gil Brandt was talking with Peyton Manning about how he scouted these players on the computers, and he said Drew Pearson, one of the greatest undrafted receivers, definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. I remember we said he should have been in the Hall of Fame like years back. So definitely cool to finally see him get his due. All right, next name we're gonna go with Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman. I know Erica Steele is pretty happy about this one. Alan Faneca. Faneca was one of the 21st century's most decorated offensive linemen, just earned a gold jacket after years with the black and gold. Faneca, an intimidating fixture of the early odds Steelers, was voted into the Hall of Fame in his 6th year of eligibility, and as a finalist, the 6-time first-team All-Pro, was already named to the 2000s All-Decade Team, drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 1998 draft. Faneca spent 10 seasons with the Steelers, blocking for Hall of Fame running back Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker, who earned a combined 1,000-yard season running behind the Grand Noise guard at the height of his career. Faneca delivered a crushing pole block on Parker's game-stealing, record-setting 75 touchdown. We won't talk about that one because obviously, yeah, fucking hate that Super Bowl, man. The most rigged Super Bowl of all time, Super Bowl 40. Yeah, got his reign in Super Bowl 40. When he joined the Jets for the 2008-2009 season, Faneca paved the way for Thomas Jones to earn the final 2 1,000-yard seasons of his career as well. Faneca closed out his career in Arizona in 2010. 11 years later, his legacy will live on in Canton. But Faneca is definitely a great offensive lineman for sure. Definitely cool to see him finally get his due.
Yeah, he definitely paves the way for Jerome Bettis.
Those Jerome Bettis years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Jerome Bettis was the one that announced it on the NFL Honors, which was, I guess, pretty fitting to say. All right.
Yep.
Up next, this is one I've been waiting for a while, man. And currently now he's the GM for the San Francisco 49ers, but he was so great on that 2002 Buccaneers defense. And I met him a couple times when he was a commentator for Fox, telling him, I hope one day he gets in the Hall of Fame. Yes, I'm talking about the hard-hitting white boy that plays safety, as Warren Sapp said when he first met him, John Lynch. John Lynch finally gets that knock on the door at his house from David Baker. And man, I'm happy to finally see John Lynch get his due in Canton, Ohio. I'm so happy for John Lynch. Well deserved.
Yeah.
And I even said it to him myself when I met him when he was still commentating on Fox. I personally said, John, I hope you get in the Hall of Fame one of these days. And he's a really nice guy too, man. John Lynch, ahead of the Buccaneers' second ever Super Bowl appearance, one of the stars of their lone title team, has earned the ultimate football honor. Lynch has been inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame this week in his 9th year of eligibility and his 8th straight as a finalist. 2-time first-team All-Pro, Lynch was a founding member of Tampa Bay's terrifying turn of the century defense, joining the franchise as a 3rd-round pick in '93. The safety recorded multiple interceptions in 9 consecutive seasons in Tampa Bay and finished with 26 career picks, 13 sacks, and 16 forced fumbles. 1 year after helping lead the Bucs to victory in Super Bowl 37, he joined the Broncos in 2004 for the final 4 seasons of his career. Lynch, a football lifer, left the game following the 2007 season moved into broadcasting soon after, and is currently the general manager of the 49ers, the 2019 NFC champions. But yeah, John Lynch, man, I'm happy to finally see John Lynch get his due.
Oh yeah, he was instrumental in that. He was one of the key players on that 2002 Tampa Bay defense that won them the Super Bowl
and completely like manhandled and destroyed the Raiders. And he
turned around, and he didn't have any front office experience, and he was able to get San Francisco to the Super Bowl in his second year as the GM.
Yeah, about second year as a GM. And then John Lynch called out some of Rich Gannon's pump fakes and the sluggo seam. Remember when Dexter Jackson got the interception in that Super Bowl? He's like, "Was it sluggo seam? Was it sluggo seam?" He's like, "I told you." Remember? I was like, "I told you." Remember that? I remember from the NFL films. I mean, I remember John Gruden said John Lynch even called out some of their plays. So yeah, I'm happy to finally see John Lynch get in the Hall of Fame. Definitely well deserved. Congratulations, Mr. Lynch. All right, let's go to our next Hall of Famer too. So far we did Drew Pearson, Alan Faneca, Bill Nunn, and Tom Flores, and John Lynch. And now up next, we got to talk about this guy. Set the single season receiving yards record with the Detroit Lions. The second line to get in first ballot Hall of Famer, Megatron, Calvin Johnson. That's cool. I think it's cool that Calvin Johnson finally got in on his first year of eligibility. Definitely well-deserved. Monster receiver with the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, it's great to see him get in. His career was cut short due to injuries. Imagine the numbers he could have put up if he had played longer.
If he had definitely played longer, he definitely would have put up more numbers. I've been privileged to see Calvin Johnson play whenever he played against the Seahawks back in Seattle when he was still on the Lions. I was there when obviously when Cam Chancellor had the punch out when he punched the ball out of Megatron's hand for the touchback. I remember that play that Cam made on a legendary receiver. But Calvin Johnson, man, from what he's done in his career, he's just been amazing.
Horrible Lions organization.
Yeah, all those years, his whole career, spent with the Lions, a terrible brand organization. They definitely need better ownership, but I'll tell you what, he was still amazing nonetheless, and he was the reason why Stafford had some of those good seasons for by far. He's the only reason Stafford was good in Detroit, because Stafford had Calvin Johnson. No receiver was more consistently dominant or physically imposing during his time in the professional football than Johnson. You'd be hard-pressed to find one with a better nickname, too. Megatron. Paired with Matthew Stafford, Johnson transformed a moribund Detroit franchise into a competitive one during his 9-year career, though the 2007 second overall experience more personal than team success. 0 playoff wins in Detroit. Megatron led the league in receiving yards, 11,619 and 83 touchdowns during the span of his career, and set the NFL single-season record for receiving yards, 1,964 in 2012, surpassing Jerry Rice. 3-time first-team All-Pro and a member of the 2010s All-Decade team. Despite not playing in the decade's final years, Johnson finished his career second in NFL history with 86.1 receiving yards per game, a testament to his reliable productivity. Despite his unusually short career, Megatron went to the Hall of Fame in his first year eligibility, and at the age of 35, 8 years younger than a certain quarterback playing on Sunday. They're referring to Tom Brady. 8 years younger than a certain quarterback playing on Sunday. But man, I love Calvin Johnson, man. I love Calvin Johnson. Great receiver, man. Good body height. Good. Definitely a great big size receiver. He's definitely a receiver you would want on your team, man. Definitely happy to see him get in. And then up next too. Now this one too. Was there ever any doubt? The only defensive player ever to win the Heisman Trophy, Charles Woodson, and he beat out Peyton Manning in the Heisman voting for it too in '98, and both those guys were both part of the same draft, retired the same year. Charles Woodson, man, definitely no surprise there. Raider great. My buddy Daniel Van Meter's happy about this. And let's not forget, he was a big-time playmaker for that Packers Super Bowl 45 team when he went to Green Bay and helped the Packers win Super Bowl 45 as a wild card team, the last wild card team to win the Super Bowl. Definitely be to see Charles Woodson get in first year eligibility. There was never a doubt that Woodson was gonna be denied in his first year eligible.
No.
I mean, the guy was just a great player. And we all know he's part of the tuck rule play with the Raiders. And then he
was the infamous. He forced the fumble in that tuck rule game.
And then he was also with the Raiders in their Super Bowl where they got blown out by Tampa Bay. But I mean, he's definitely loved in obviously both the Raiders and of course the Packers organization for what he did during his time in Green Bay. Charles Woodson, the preeminent defensive back of his era. Woodson spent nearly 2 decades in the NFL, bookending his prolific career as one of my most respected defenders to ever play the game. The 4th overall pick in the 1998 draft and reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Woodson immediately took home Defensive Rookie of the Year honors with the Raiders. Woodson was a 3-time first-team All-Pro and 9-time Pro Bowler over the course of his career and was also named Defensive Player of the Year in 2009. His 4th of 7 seasons with the Packers, Woodson won his lone Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. The following season, his 2nd appearance in the big game, though, he was knocked out halfway through the victory with a broken collarbone. Woodson returned to Oakland for his final 3 seasons and retired following the 2015 season. 65 career interceptions, 5th all-time, and 13 defensive touchdowns, most all-time. And as one of 3 players in league history with at least 25 picks with 2 different franchises. In his first year of eligibility, the great corner turned safety was safely inducted into the Hall. Didn't he also have like 20 sacks as well? Like,
I think he might have.
Over 50 interceptions and 20 sacks in his career. But man, 65 career interceptions, 5th all-time, and 13 defensive touchdowns. You knew Woodson. I mean, usually when you see like a certain player beat out a certain quarterback, for the Heisman Trophy, usually you would think that player would turn out to, not really have that good of a career. Not Charles Woodson, man. Granted, who he beat out for the Heisman Trophy and had the career that he did for all those years with the Raiders and the Packers. I mean, just incredible. He was incredible.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Charles. And last but not least, was there ever any doubt? The sheriff, Peyton Manning. Dallas?
There was no doubt.
No doubt in my mind. They had to save the best for last. And Peyton Manning, love all his commercials, love his show that he's doing Peyton's Places. But overall, great career. Retired with the most passing yards and passing touchdowns when he retired. Recently surpassed by Drew Brees and another record surpassed by Tom Brady with the touchdown passes, and kind of jumping back and forth with Brees on that, which Brees will probably be retiring now. But Peyton Manning. What else can we say? Obviously, part of the 1998 draft where obviously we just mentioned beat out by Charles Woodson for the Heisman. Peyton Manning, never a doubt, man. Never.
One of the best draft picks the Colts ever made, that's for sure.
Probably the best draft pick the Colts ever made, and Bill Polian's best draft pick ever. I remember when Bill Polian was in the Hall of Fame, they said like his best quarterback for like Hall of Fame, he's like Jim Kelly, at least until Peyton Manning gets there. I remember that.
Yep.
But
and then he was finally able to get that first
Super Bowl 41, and
41.
Then I'll never forget that comeback he pulled against the Patriots in that 2006 AFC Championship.
Oh, yeah. Finally got over the New England hump. Finally was able to beat Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yep, and get to the Super Bowl and just, oh, man, Peyton Manning, just an illustrious career.
And then I remember him capping his career with the defense carrying him to Super Bowl 50 win.
Yeah, that was cool. I was happy to see him walk off in the sunset. Granted, after we won our first Super Bowl against him, Super Bowl 48, when he had the highest scoring offense of all time. I mean, granted, for when we beat him in there, I'll tell you what, his 2013 season was one of the best seasons I've ever seen. 55 passing touchdowns in that season?
Yeah, he had 55 and I think 10 interceptions. I think he broke Tom Brady's
2007 record.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady had like 50.
Yeah, but Peyton Manning, I mean, never a doubt in my mind. There was never a doubt in my mind. And then, of course, he held the rookie touchdown pass record until Russell Wilson tied it, which the record has now recently been broke by Baker Mayfield, and now this year Justin Herbert with 31 passing touchdowns by a rookie. But On the night before the Super – all right, here we go. Peyton Manning. When the Hall of Fame Selection Committee met in January to nominate this year's inductees, Colts beat writer Mike Chappell spent no more than 13 seconds. I bet you these were the words that they said during those 13 seconds. Peyton Manning, enough said.
Yeah.
Those were the words I definitely would have said. I definitely would have said, Peyton Manning, enough said. Pleading Manning's case, and why not? What more do you say about the quarterback who's accomplished everything? Number 1 pick, 1998 draft, the Colts. Manning changed the skyline in Indianapolis, as David Letterman once put it. The son of Archie and the brother of Eli made a name for himself as the ultimate field general at the line of scrimmage, reading defenses with ease, changing plays under center, and directing and redirecting his teammates, such as Hall of Famers Marvin Harrison and Edgerrin James, Reggie Wayne, and Demaryius Thomas in real time. A 14-time Pro Bowler, 7-time first-team All-Pro, and 5-time NFL MVP, a record still standing today. 5 MVP awards won by Peyton Manning. Manning long saw the Lombardi Trophy elude his gasp instead of watching his rival Tom Brady claim it early and often in the 2000s. But Manning finally won a Super Bowl in 2006, Super Bowl 41, and made another 3 years later after sitting out an entire season with a neck injury. Obviously, they lost that Super Bowl 44, to the Saints.
Yeah,
Manning joined
ironically also in Miami.
Yep. Manning joined the Broncos in free agency in 2012. And let's not forget, Super Bowl 41 was the only rainy Super Bowl, and we could possibly be getting rain tonight.
It doesn't look like it, though. It looks pretty clear in Tampa right now.
Oh, that's cool. But in Denver, he won Comeback Player of the Year, set the single-season passing touchdown record 55 in 2013, and helped lead the Broncos to a victory in Super Bowl 50, which he was carried by his defense, becoming the only starting quarterback to win Super Bowls with 2 different franchises. Manning ranks in the top 5 of numerous category wins. 202nd, second to Tom Brady. Passing yards, 71,943rd. Passing touchdowns, 539, third. Completions, 6,125, fourth. And game-winning drives, 54, first. A Walter Payton Man of the Year to boot. Manning's legacy on and off the field is incalculable, but this gold jacket was inevitable. I would say
well-deserved.
Definitely well-deserved. And, definitely got love for Peyton Manning. Always had love for Peyton Manning. I'm definitely happy to still see him doing commercials and, of course, the show, Peyton's Places. And there you have it. And also, we know last year's class didn't get to do the speeches because the pandemic hit, and the Centennial class and the class of 2020. So how are they going to do the Hall of Fame this year? Are they going to have multiple couple days of speeches for the Hall of Fame class from last year, and then, of course, this year's class for the last day, which we all know Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson are going to headline the 2021 class.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, I think that's a great class for the Hall of Fame. And always, like I said, always love doing the Hall of Fame, especially – I know I was supposed to talk about it last night, but I went out on that, so wanted to wait till this morning, Super Bowl Sunday, and me and Dallas will be back later to do our post-game recap, but wanted to come out and talk about the Hall of Fame class. Dallas, what do you think, man?
I think everybody was definitely deserving of it.
Yeah,
I think we got a pretty good, damn good class this year.
Yeah, and I know there are other players that are first year eligible and other players that have been waiting a long time that are deserving for it, that we hope they get their time soon. But in due time, hopefully they get their time. But it's still great to see, when they announce the class, and I just love it. But anyway, give me your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new, and enjoy the Super Bowl tonight, everybody. Going to sign out here with Dallas. Dallas, thank you for coming in and doing this with me.
Yeah, no problem.
And we'll catch you guys later on after the Super Bowl to recap the game. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.